Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Super Tees video. And did you think your spec was going to be safe for patch 11.2? Well, it might just not be with this round of class tuning adjustments. And as always, you want to make sure you're staying up to date with tuning adjustments like this so you can keep tabs on how your class is doing educational and entertaining content. Smash that subscribe button. Your support is greatly appreciated. But let's get started because there's a lot. And I want to give you guys some time to be able to like wipe your tears away as we're moving through some of these changes, because some of them are definitely going to make some of you cry. So for Frost Death Knight, we're starting off with Wave of Souls. Critical strikes now increase Shadow Frost damage by 3%, down from 5% per stack. Swift and Painful now increases strength by 5% for 8 seconds when no enemies are struck by Soul Rupture, down from 10%. And Swift and Painful now causes Wave of Souls to be 50% more effective on its main target, down from 100. And Exterminate First Sight damage has been reduced by 15%. So overall, Deathbringer Frost Death Knight getting nerfed. You guys are getting nerfed. Riders of the Apocalypse, they fixed an issue causing undeath to benefit only one Death Knight in a group with multiple Death Knights, so you're going to be losing extra damage there from a bug. Sand Lane, Frenzied Bloodthirst now increases the damage of Death Quill by 4% per stack of Essence of the Blood Queen, down from 8. So a Death Quill nerf on Sand Lane Death Knights. Mana Forge 2-set bonus now extends the duration of Virulent Plague on your target by an additional 3 seconds, down from 4, so more nerfs. Your 4-set bonus now increases the damage of Infliction of Sorrow by 30%, down from 35. So DK nerfs, Hero Talent nerfs. Does it get any better for you guys? Well, for Blood, Bone Shield increases armor by 115%, with strength up from 100. Blood DKs are at least winning, but Frost and Unholy, I'm sorry, you guys are getting obliterated, ironically. Frost is getting a 3% damage nerf. The 3% guy's back, and he teamed up with the 5% guy to tag team you guys down by 5% damage and obliterate, 3% on all abilities. But Unholy, you guys got the chair, bro. You guys got the slam. You guys got pile drived. 20% death coil damage reduction. The exact opposite of what needed to happen in PvP. And there doesn't seem to be a modifier negating this in PvP, so unless I'm missing something and you guys are really OP or something in the next patch of PvP, that's probably going to hit you really hard. That's probably going to hit you really, really, really hard. And I think I'm covering up some of the class changes here with my camera. Let's just squeeze me a little bit tinier here. Don't mind shrinking a bit. For Demon Hunter, Vengeance. Deflecting spikes increases the parry chance by demon spikes by 8%, down from 10. Not surprised for PvE. Vengeance was so popular. See a little bit of a nerf. Wildstalker. Vigorous Creepers cause Bloodseeker Vines to increase damage targets take from you by 6% from 5. So a little Wildstalker buff for Feral Druids. And for Feral directly, Sabertooth causes Ferocious Bite to increase damage taken from your bleeds and other periodic effects by 5% per combo point, up from 3. So big Feral buffs. Winners keep winning, losers keep losing. That is okay, and that's not reverted in PvP, so that will be going in PvP as well. Flame Shaper, Essence Bomb damage has been reduced by 30%. I feel bad for you Flame Shapers as well, because they're like, we're going to try to make Flame Shaper viable. And then every other patch after that, we're going to nerf it, and it's probably not going to be viable. Scale Commander, fix an issue where sometimes the Mana Force 2-set bonus Squadron would not follow the Evoker's target, so that's a damage buff to that. For Marksmanship, Black Arrow damage has been reduced by 8%. It's not like be a really big deal if aim shot still hits you for 100% of your health, but maybe it won't be, because your 2-set bonus is Sentinel is only going to give bonus damage to aim shot by 10%, down from 20. And then when you nerf it in PvP, it's like 3%. Beast Mastery Hunters, 3% guy doesn't like you this week. 3% damage nerf. For Marksmanship, your trick shots effectiveness is also being reduced from 75 to 60. So obviously there's a little bit of a trick shots, aim shot kind of cleave that they wanted to nerf down here for Marksman. For Mage, Sun Fury, Meteorite damage is reduced by 15%, and Phoenix, our area of effect spell damage, reduced by 10%. So a little bit of an AoE nerf. I don't think it's surprising in PvE, because Mage has been overperforming, so we see even more nerfs. Resonance damage bonus for Arcane is going down to 12 from 15, so you're losing a bit of AoE damage here, which is pretty big, because this is a big component in PvP for Arcane. For Fire, 3% guy struck you down in Blood here for 3% damage reduction. And Flame Strike taking a 15% nerf. So if you thought there was going to be a Living Bomb Flame Strike build, in PvP at least, yeah, it's probably not happening. You're probably just going to keep playing the same build with Sun Fury nerfs and Flame Strike nerfs. For Monk, Convoy of the Celestials, your 4-set bonus, haste reduced to 10% from 15, so a little bit of a nerf for Misfavors on your set bonus. For Windwalker, your 2-set, Heart of the Jade Serpent duration reduced to 4 seconds from 8, so nerfs for Windwalkers on the set bonus. Haste has been reduced to 10 from 15. To compensate for this loss on your set bonus, though, you're just getting 8% across the board, which in PvP is a buff, because this set bonus is nerfed anyways in PvP. Winners keep winning, guys. Ferals, Windwalkers, damage buffs, Death Knights. How dare you do even any damage? How dare you? 20% death coil nerf for you. Herald of the Sun Paladins. Oh my god, these are going through. So Herald of the Sun's getting gigabuffed. I think we're going to be re-rolling Herald after this. 15% on Eternal Flame, which is Word of Glory. Sun's Avatar healing, though, has been reduced by 40%. Dawn Light now radiates 5% of its healing down from 8, so a little bit of a single target buff AoE nerf. Second Sunrise now has a 100% chance to activate, was 15, but no longer grants Holy Power from Holy Shot casts and casts at 15% effectiveness, so a little bit less Holy Power generation, but more effective healing from your Holy Power. Dawn Light healing increased by 60% from 30 with the set bonus, and Forset increases Holy Power spenders by 30% during Solar Rest. So Eternal Flame is going to be lay on hands, I think, with Holy Paladin. That looks really strong. For Ret, Sunseer damage is increased by 100%. I'm going to be real, I've never seen Sunseer on any combat log of my entire life, so I don't even know how impactful that is, but 100% is a lot, so maybe we're going to know what it is on this patch. It might just happen. We'll have to wait and see, because it's getting doubled. But if it did 100 damage, it's 200 now, so... Oh my god, even Ret. Man, how do the winners keep winning? DKs, you guys are not allowed to be good in PvP. These changes are going through in PvP as well. Divine Storm, not as big of a deal in PvP, right, with 10%. But Wake of Ashes, 10%. Seething Flames, 20%. Truce Wake's damage increased by 20%. Fixed an issue causing Wake of Ashes to not benefit from Avenging Wrath when activated by Radiant Glory. So even Ret is keeping some of its buffs, although a little bit smaller than the Feral and the Windwalker one so far. Holy Nova mana cost reduced by 75 to 87. Now, Disc, you guys are getting a bunch of big changes to make you really strong in PvP, so like, this one doesn't really matter, but I'm trying to give you a little bit more AoE damage, I guess, in Mythic Plus with that change. For Rogue, oh my god, Rogues are getting some changes. Cold Blood cooldown now begins immediately upon use and has a 15-second max duration. Oh, they didn't like that mechanic where you can press it, forget that you have it, and then it just sits up there forever. It's not going to happen anymore. Assassination 2-set bonus looks like a buff. Deathstalker effects and bonuses increased by 60 up from 50. 4-set bonus looks like a buff as well. Shiv duration increased to 3 from 2. For Subtlety Rogue, looks like nerf. Effectiveness of Deathstalker damage is reduced to 40 from 50. And they fixed an issue, prevented Deathstalker damage events from benefiting from the Lingering Darkness effect. So maybe that's a trade-off, and it still ends up being close. Fate-bound coin, Tails, and Lucky coin damage increased by 17%. Maybe Outlaw? Maybe Outlaw makes a return here with Fate-bound. I don't know. Assassination fixed an issue that caused King's Bane's ramping damage effect to reset while King's Bane was still active with the Mana Forge Omega 2-set bonus equipped. Okay, that seems like a bug that just got nipped. It's probably a big damage nerf. For Outlaw, Nimble Flurry bonus to Blade Flurry damage, though, reduced to 20 from 25. Outlaw Rogues, how dare you guys do damage? DKs and Outlaw Rogues, you guys are not allowed to do damage. No damage. Subtlety Rogue, Nimble Flurry percent of ability damage reduced to 60 from 65. And Nimble Flurry now deals a matching percent of increased damage while Shadow Blades is active. 20% PV, 10% PvP. Assassination, another 4% damage buff, but this one won't be going in PvP. The last buff is, though. Outlaw, I don't know who this guy is. This guy throwing me a curveball? Who's the 3.5% guy? I know we never see 0.5%. Did they throw this in just to troll me or something? The 3% guys throwing me a curveball? Outlaw Rogue gets a 3.5%. Killing Spree gets a 15% buff. This is not really enough to make them have any sort of impactful damage in PvP, and Killing Spree hits random targets, so unless I make a PvP talent that makes Killing Spree really cool and awesome PvP, these probably won't be doing too much. Subtlety Rogue got a 5% damage buff, but not in PvP, so Rogues won't be getting away with those buffs. Ferals and Rets, though, you will. Hellcaller Warlocks look like you're getting something here. Wither damage reduced by 15%, but not in PvP. Blackened Soul damage reduced by 5%, but not in PvP. So Destro's not going to be losing any power here. Destro is getting a 20% Chaos Bolt, and boy, do you wish you got that in PvP, but you will not be getting that in PvP. So overall, some big winners here for Ret and for Ret, Windwalker, and Feral seemingly. And it seems like if we keep our eyes on DK and Mage, and even Hunter to some extent, that they seem to be consistently getting nerfed patch to patch as far as the trends that we're seeing so far. Now, do note that main PvP changes usually happen after the patch is out. Because they get majority of their data, I assume, after the season has started. So this will likely be updating and changing week to week to week, and maybe, with that 20% death cold nerf, they won't leave you in the dirt for too long. We'll see, because usually at the beginning of the patch is when a lot of changes come in, and then towards the tail end, that's when they leave it alone. It's like, this is what the meta is, we're working on the next patch, so maybe that won't be the case, but at least PvE direction seems like you guys are going to have a rough ride if nobody steps up for you guys on the PvP side of things. But that's it for this update here, a little bit more of a quick one, so thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the update, and I will see you in the next one.